Okay, welcome to phase 3, day 2. And I'm gonna grab our handy little guide here. While I do some mobility, we're going to be doing lower body today. It's going to be 90% of our 1 rep max, so we're starting to go big. It's just gonna be 3 sets of 3 reps. We're gonna be getting it started off with front squats. Now, here's a little problem with front squats. I, unfortunately, I'm gonna be switching it up a little bit. Today I'm gonna be doing back squats. The reason being, still feeling quite a bit of impingement in my right shoulder, even a little bit in my left. I've been doing a lot of mobility. I've been doing a lot of warm-ups with this thing. Cuban press with the dumbbells have been helping a lot. Been taking some glucosamine as well, but it's still not quite there, and doing the front press gives me quite a bit of pain. So I'm gonna be switching it up a little bit with the back squat, which is good in a way because that just shows you if there is any exercise that you may not be able to perform yourself, feel free to switch it up. None of this is set in stone. I wish I could perform front squat, but unfortunately at this point in time I can't. So I will be switching it up with the back squat. Thankfully, Brandon's good to go, so he's gonna get started with the front squats, and we're gonna see if we can hit our 90% 1 rep maxes. Just warming up. Warming up. Sometimes you just don't feel quite warmed up enough. So we start with a little bit lighter weight on the first set. We don't really count the set, we just call it a warm-up set, and then we move on to the working sets after that with the 90% 1 rep max. But I want to start off a little bit lighter, kind of get the feel for it, see if I can feel strong enough to go up to 90% and then go from there. Whatever, get away with it this time. You'll notice we take our shoes off sometimes. And that's mainly just to get a little bit more contact with the floor. You'll see that the shoe's elevated a bit on the heel. So if you're already having kind of trouble with getting the proper form, keeping that kind of mid-foot pressure, these usually won't help with that. Sometimes since they're elevated, it'll be a little easier to pick your heels off. Just kind of take your shoes off, that way you can get a little bit more contact with the floor, a little bit more flat feet, so you get that mid-foot push. But, you know, it gives me a couple inches height, so that's why I wear it. Pretty good. All of a sudden you hit that wall on that second rep because you only rested for about 90 seconds opposed to maybe 2 to 3 minutes, which in this phase is what you want to do. Get a little bit longer rest times. It's not necessarily about stressing your cardiovascular system, kind of going one to the next like the hypertrophy phases. Extend the rest time, recuperate. That way on the next set, you feel just as strong. At least that's the idea. Whew. We're in tank tops on leg day. It's usually against my nature because it's easy to start working legs, and then you look at your upper body like, man, I'm looking so small because you got the pump in the legs, upper body's feeling kind of small, doesn't have a pump. And then that kind of psychologically defeats yourself for leg day because you're like, oh, I gotta work more upper body. The camera's in the danger zone. This is like SeaWorld. Watch out, because you might get splashed by spit. Well, hopefully by spit. Hopefully that's the only thing you get splashed by. Make it a little bit taller so you can get some calf raises before and after each set. Either that or break your neck. Yeah, one of the two. Hopefully it's just the calves. Yeah. Definitely work the hamstrings, lower back glutes. You always start it in a racked position. So you can come up here and make it a lot easier. Just slightly walk out. You want to get a little bit of kind of extension in that lumbar. Really keep the tension right in the hamstrings. If you kind of let it slack, your lower back's immediately going to try to compensate, get some flexion in there. Really try to keep that real rigid and straight. You feel all the stretch there with the neutral chin. So how are we feeling? It's phase 3. That means it's week 5 already, which is crazy. It's already week 5. Feeling good. A little bit in the middle, I would say. We're feeling good. We're not feeling bad, which is nice. Not lifting maybe quite as heavy as we'd like to in this phase. No real reason. Just as anything, life kind of happens. So we've got other things going on. In a perfect scenario, you have all these numbers lined out in your head, the weights you'd like to hit, the sets and reps, all that good stuff. Perfect eating routine doesn't always happen that way. So for those of you out there maybe struggling with the same thing, you're a little frustrated, you're not hitting the exact numbers you wanted to, don't worry about it. The most important thing is don't give up, keep going. We still have those numbers we want to hit in mind. Still gonna try to stick to that goal, even if you don't hit it the exact day or week you'd like to. Keep building towards that goal. Things come in the way, like with me and my shoulder impingement. It's very frustrating at first. Just keep pushing through, keep going strong. We'll get it, and you'll get it. And look, Brandon's already up to 315. Hell yeah. All right, got any wise words of encouragement, Brandon? Don't die. I didn't die. I was a bitch, but I didn't die. Prowler sled push. A lot of gyms don't have a prowler sled, so just utilize a bench. Thankfully, these benches aren't bolted down. If you do encounter that in your gym, you can always kind of put the stack of weights on the floor and push it across that way. Oh.
Hell yeah. One prowler sled push done, down.
He's going the distance.
We have 2 more sets of that.
A couple things to go over on this exercise if you're kind of new to this. What you want to do is kind of keep that nice straight rigid torso in line with your backward pushing leg here. So here you try not to kind of get too much in this position. It kind of breaks that chain of power. You want to keep everything nice, straight, rigid, and strong. And once you start getting that motion, each leg following the next, getting a good kind of groove, getting a good motion where you're carrying through with each leg. So once you kind of get in that motion, in a good tempo, you'll feel like it's a little bit easier continuing to push the sled, rather than kind of, if you're here, and you kind of push, stop, and you have to get into the next position. Really just try to keep that momentum up a little bit. But you really want to take a little bit slow and really push those legs. Surprisingly, works a lot of upper body too, because you got to keep that nice tension in there in the upper body to stabilize the movement too. Oh yeah. Legs start burning. Ooh, that's when you know you're doing it right. Excuse me while I pass out. We're trying to finish off every day of this bulking plan, whatever it is. It is a little bit of a plague. That's what it feels like at the moment. With some abs. We got a great suggestion on our first 12-week plan from some of you saying, hey, where's the abs at? And you know, we kind of spaced on that a little bit because we usually do abs after a workout, but we didn't include it in the plan itself. So we're doing that. At this very moment, you can see Brandon's doing some oblique crunches. We're gonna be doing 3 sets of 10 reps, and we're switching up a little bit every day of the plan. So we got rollouts, oblique crunches, reverse crunches, hitting that core, and not just the abs, also the lower back as well. Full, complete, buff dude physique. 1 exercise and 1 rep at a time.
The thing to keep in mind in this exercise is that it's crunching in the oblique. So the weight that you're holding, it's gonna be working the opposite side of the weight you're holding here. So if I'm holding on my right side, it's actually gonna work my left oblique, because you're bringing it in here laterally, flexing in the spine, and then you're contracting in to crunch this. So imagine, like, you know, you do normal crunches here, the rectus abdominis. Essentially the same here through the oblique, where you're crunching in and getting that full contraction. And when you bring it down, it's just a slight stretch in there. So it doesn't have to be like, you just really want to make sure as you're crunching here, you're feeling it in that section. If you're just kind of bending at the shoulder, there'll be no real crunch through the oblique, and you won't get the full benefit. Oh yeah. Still out of breath, just finished up with some oblique crunches. That finishes up this exercise and workout for the day. Day 2 of phase 3. And man, we're gonna jump right into the next day tomorrow. Upper body, back at it.
Here we go. Feeling pretty winded, but we got this. And you got this too, so keep going strong.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. And as always, stay buff.
Yeah.